Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Digital Suffering, the podcast where we do the suffering so you don't have to. Well, you can still do your suffering, I'm not here to stop you. I am one of your co-hosts. My name is Stephen Something, and we have our other co-host,
Phantom Limb.
Phantom Limb. Today we're going to start off with a game that's showed up briefly on our radars called Control. Produced by Remedy, the ones who brought us Max Payne. Is it Alan Wake as well? They did Alan Wake, I believe.
Not sure.
You're no help at all. Anyway, Max Payne. And I think there was something else. We should really do our research. So this game is third-person action, shooty bits. It's kind of like Max Payne with superpowers. Remember there was a game... there was one. What was it called? You control Fear. Do you remember Fear?
I do remember Fear. I played that quite a bit.
Obviously, that was the first.
I played the original and the second one.
The first-person shooter, but it reminds me of but actually the main character didn't have psychic powers.
Nope.
No. But it's got that theme where the character suddenly comes into an environment where supernatural or psychic,
slight horror elements.
Yeah, horror. Yes. It was called. You have all these things happening, and the character has to survive. Here we've got a very smoking man X-Files moments there.
So we're watching a bit of gameplay that's currently online, which is bizarre. And we'll try and put up as much footage of the game as we can, but essentially it started in what looked like a police station or an office type situation, but there was people hanging motionless in midair.
I think it's more that she's actually gone into whatever this research facility or building is, and
right.
That's our story, and then they have to work out what the heck is going on.
That was a bit like Ulysses 31,
the old
cartoon where the crew are just hanging in stasis forever because
it would cost too much to pay all those voice actors.
What?
Smoke monsters, very much like Breach. R.I.P. Breach. I wanted to like that game, but it just had flaws, and then it never got out of the beta stage. So anyway, So
I love the painterly. It almost seems painted. Almost seems.
It does have a very a sort of like
a refined version of Dishonored in terms of graphics.
Yeah, a sort of a filter to it to give it this a sort of cinematic aesthetic. If they made this into a movie, I'd watch the hell out of it. That's for sure. Sort of crammed all into one.
The thing about these games, which is there's an old game called Event Rising that came out on the original Xbox.
I remember that game,
and it got slated to hell, and it too had telekinetic abilities, and it was a third-person action game. A little bit. It was more. I think it sort of aped storylines from games like Mass Effect and Halo, but it had a similar, having not played either, feel.
Of course, looking at the telekinetic, it's very much like some of the Star Wars third-person games, whereby your character has force powers and you can just pick up nearby
Random
objects and throw them. It's like not something that's undesirable. Obviously, people love to throw things. I wonder if you can also use the power on enemies as well, because then you'll totally do like in Star Wars where you dangle people over drops and go, let them go, bring out the sadist. It is curious about this whole. Obviously, we don't know about this about the story much, but you got the people frozen in midair, and it's like, what has happened here? But the thing is, it's like, well, if someone is holding them there, they've got to be concentrating a hell of a lot to be holding a building full of people in stasis. Who knows? I wonder if you can shoot the people in midair. Would that be a bad thing if they're supposed to like fix the problem? You're just like shooting random employees.
The character, female character lead that you seem to be playing here, seems like she can use the smaller objects within the rooms as weapons, projectiles and whatnot, and shields.
Mm.
But also, then she has a gun that seems to have a few different forms.
Yeah, the
in
gun.
terms of gun, like it changes and it shoots different.
She could reconfigure. The gun was like shown to be reconfigurable, which is a way of managing the magic infinite inventory, whereby you pull a rifle out of your back pockets.
The old flamethrower, grenade launcher, machine
BFG.
gun.
Just like whatever you got plenty of room in your jeans for that sort of stuff.
I never had a problem with that.
Well, no, obviously you got to manage, thing. And some games, like I think Halo, they had you strap the gun to your back, so you're not pulling it up anywhere. You can only carry 2 guns because that's how many arms you have, and that's fine. But then you can say, well, okay, she's got a pistol that can configure, and then but where are all the different bullets coming from instead? You just push the problem like further down the line. But yeah, it looks, in terms of aesthetics and stuff, it looks absolutely fantastic.
I love the mood. Very dark, very
the whole look. Plus the survival horror, scenes. It calls to mind a lot of games. So due out in August. Looks to be like very close to ready. Hopefully we can get our hands on a review copy. Hint, hint, Remedy. We'll give you like all the thumbs up you need, man. That was the Digital Suffering Podcast. If you'd like to suffer some more, you can find other episodes on Red Circle, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple iTunes, Stitcher, Radio Public, and SoundCloud. Please like and subscribe everywhere.